In the quiet expanse of the Nevada desert, the night was shattered by a blinding light from above. Locals from the nearby town of Larkspur had grown accustomed to the occasional secretive military flyby, but this was different. This was otherworldly. As the luminous object descended, whispers of its origins spread like wildfire. Were they finally witnessing a bona fide extraterrestrial visitation? The object, a sleek, metallic saucer, touched down gently on the outskirts of the town. A hush fell over the assembled crowd as a ramp extended toward the ground, and a door slid open with a hiss. The beings that emerged were not the green, bug-eyed monsters of popular lore, but humanoid figures of astounding beauty. Their skin shimmered like polished silver, and their eyes sparkled with the colors of distant galaxies. Their presence was serene, almost divine. Dr. Evelyn Shaw, an astrobiologist who had been rushed in from a nearby research facility, stepped forward as the appointed human liaison. With her heart pounding in her chest, she walked toward the alien visitors, her voice steady but her mind racing with questions. Who were they? What brought them to Earth? The leader of the extraterrestrials, who introduced herself simply as Arya, began to speak, her voice melodious and oddly comforting. People of Earth, she said, her words automatically translating into every listener's native tongue through a small device they carried. We come in peace. We travel the cosmos, sharing aspects of our culture with those we deem ready. Today, we have chosen to share something very special with you. A murmur ran through the crowd as another figure stepped forward. She was breathtaking, even among her stunning peers. Her hair flowed like liquid gold, her eyes a deep violet that seemed to hold the mysteries of her world. This was no ordinary visitor. She was a being of regal bearing, an embodiment of her species' ideal of beauty. We offer you Lysara, Arya continued, gesturing to the golden-haired beauty. She represents the pinnacle of our aesthetic and ethical evolution. With her, we share the possibility of a new understanding, a new unity between our peoples. The crowd was stunned. The government officials whispered among themselves, unsure how to respond to such an unprecedented gift. Dr. Shaw, too, was taken aback, but her scientific curiosity pushed her to ask, why her? Why now? Arya smiled, a gesture so human-like it was momentarily disarming. Our visions showed us that your world is at a crossroads, she explained. The beauty we offer is not merely physical but symbolic. Lysara will teach you about harmony, about the beauty of coexistence with nature and each other. As the news spread across the globe, reactions were mixed. Some hailed it as the dawn of a new era, while others feared it was a prelude to invasion or manipulation. But one thing was clear: Lysara's arrival had changed everything. Over the following days, Lysara was introduced to the world. Her every move was broadcast, her every word analyzed. She spoke of her world, of the ways her people interacted with their environment and each other, promoting a lifestyle of peace and sustainability that appealed to many. However, not everyone was swayed. Skeptics questioned the aliens' motives, and conspiracy theorists suggested that Lysara's beauty was a tool, a means to mesmerize and control. Meanwhile, governments worldwide scrambled to understand the implications of her presence on their soil. As tensions mounted, Dr. Shaw found herself more and more intertwined with Lysara's mission. She saw in Lysara not just an ambassador of beauty but a bridge between worlds. Yet, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the aliens' agenda than they had revealed. The first chapter of this encounter had set the stage, but the unfolding story was sure to challenge every belief, every fear, and every hope humanity held about the universe and its many inhabitants. What happened next would indeed shock everyone, but the true impact of Lysara's arrival was yet to be fully understood. 2 weeks had passed since Lysara's arrival, and the initial shock had settled into a cautious curiosity worldwide. Dr. Evelyn Shaw, tasked with facilitating Lysara's integration into human society, arranged for her to meet with cultural leaders, scientists, and diplomats. Each meeting was a delicate dance of diplomacy and discovery, as Lysara shared her knowledge on advanced alien technologies and philosophies. In the sprawling city of New York, a landmark event was scheduled at the United Nations headquarters, where Lysara was to speak before a global assembly. Security was tighter than it had ever been, with both terrestrial and potential extraterrestrial threats in mind. As Lysara approached the podium, her violet eyes swept over the crowd, calming the sea of anxious faces. She began by expressing her gratitude for the warmth and curiosity with which humanity had greeted her. "We seek to build upon this foundation of trust," she declared, her voice resonant, filling the hall without need for amplification. She then detailed her people's achievements in renewable energy sources that left no ecological footprint, and medical advances that had eradicated disease on her planet. The global audience was captivated by the promise of such advancements for Earth. However, amidst the admiration, a faction of skeptics led by Dr. Leonard Hirsch, a prominent physicist, questioned the feasibility and the price of adopting these alien technologies. "We must consider the socio-economic impacts," Hirsch argued during a televised debate. "Such shifts could render our current infrastructure obsolete, upending millions of lives." Meanwhile, in private, high-level meetings with military and intelligence leaders, concerns about Lysara's uncanny ability to influence people were raised. General Abrams, head of the Joint Chiefs, voiced a stern warning: "We need to understand whether we're dealing with an envoy or something else. Her influence is unnerving." Amid these swirling political currents, Lysara visited various Earth environments, rainforests, deserts, and oceans. Accompanied by Dr. Shaw, she witnessed firsthand the planet's beauty and the scars left by human civilization. At each stop, Lysara proposed solutions, simple yet revolutionary technologies that could reverse decades of damage. Her solutions, however, required deep integration of her world's technologies into Earth's ecosystems. Back in Larkspur, where her journey began, Lysara attended a town hall meeting. It was a more intimate setting, the very room pulsating with the raw, unfiltered emotions of its inhabitants. Here, she faced the direct fears and hopes of ordinary people. "What happens if we become too dependent on your technology?" one local farmer asked, his voice echoing the community's unease. Lysara's answer was a reflection of her philosophy. "Interdependence can lead to strength, not weakness," she explained. "By weaving our systems together, we can create resilience against the challenges ahead." The visit culminated in a massive public demonstration of one of her technologies, a device capable of purifying water with unprecedented efficiency. Installed at the town's river, the device was activated during a live broadcast, cleaning a polluted section of the river in real time. The spectacle was undeniable, and public opinion began to shift. However, not all were convinced. Secretly, several governments began to develop countermeasures and contingencies, dubbed Project Aegis, aimed at safeguarding Earth's autonomy from alien influence. This project was led by none other than Dr. Hirsch, who, despite the public spectacle, harbored deep reservations about placing humanity's future in extraterrestrial hands. As Lysara continued her mission, she remained seemingly unaware of the growing web of intrigue surrounding her. Her focus remained steadfast on her goal: to usher in a new era of unity and prosperity for Earth through the gifts of her people. But as she would soon learn, humanity was complex, filled with conflicting desires and hidden agendas that could challenge even the most benevolent intentions. Lysara's influence had woven through the fabric of human society faster than anyone anticipated. The technology exhibitions became a regular affair, with each new invention drawing larger crowds and more fervent discussions. With Dr. Evelyn Shaw by her side, Lysara navigated these waters with an almost serene confidence. But beneath the surface, the currents of dissent and fear were gathering strength. In the corridors of power, Dr. Leonard Hirsch and the secretive Project Aegis team had begun experimenting with Lysara's technology, attempting to reverse engineer it and uncover any hidden mechanisms or controls. Hirsch, with his keen analytical mind, had started to notice patterns and redundancies in the technology that suggested it might have dual purposes, perhaps not as benign as they were led to believe. Meanwhile, in a small, secure facility outside Washington, D.C., a confidential meeting convened by top security officials was in progress. "The dependency scenario we feared is fast becoming a reality," General Abrams stated, his face grim. "Her technology is spreading through our systems. It's elegant, effective, and seductive." At the same meeting, an NSA analyst presented intercepted communications between various alien envoys. The messages were cryptic but hinted at a larger plan, one that involved not just Earth but other planets integrated into what they referred to as the harmonium. This revelation sent ripples of unease through the room. The term suggested a collective, a unity that Earth might be absorbed into, losing its sovereignty. Back in New York, Lasara was scheduled for a live interview on a major news network, a segment that would be viewed by billions. Dr. Shaw, increasingly torn between her roles as a scientist and a diplomat, prepared Lasara, briefing her on the delicate topics of independence and human autonomy. Lasara listened intently, her expression thoughtful. "It is not our intention to govern or to dominate," she reassured Evelyn, "but to uplift and integrate." The interview began with casual questions about Lasara's home planet and culture, but soon pivoted to the more contentious issues. When pressed about the ultimate goal of her mission, Lasara responded with a calm that belied the tension of the moment. "We envision a galaxy where all sentient beings share knowledge and live in harmony. Earth has the potential to be a valued member of this community." The response was met with mixed reactions. Supporters of Lasara saw it as a call to a higher purpose, a step towards universal peace. Detractors, however, heard the echo of subjugation, a veiled threat dressed in the guise of unity. As the world grappled with these revelations, Dr. Shaw was contacted by Hirsch for a clandestine meeting. Reluctantly, she agreed, and under the cover of darkness, they met in a deserted government building. Hirsch presented his findings, including a series of complex schematics that suggested some of the alien devices could serve as monitoring or even control mechanisms. "This technology could change us, Evelyn, not just our society or our planet, but us as a species. What if our free will is the price of this harmony?" Hirsch's words struck a chord in Evelyn, who had begun to notice subtle changes in those who worked closely with the alien technologies. They seemed too content, uncharacteristically agreeable. Torn between her duty to humanity and her growing bond with Lasara, Dr. Shaw faced a dilemma. Should she confront Lasara with these suspicions, risking alienating their only link to advanced knowledge and possibly precipitating an interstellar incident? Or should she seek further proof, potentially allowing a covert alien agenda to progress unchecked? As dawn broke, the decision weighed heavily on her. The next steps she chose could alter the course of human history, for better or worse. Dr. Evelyn Shaw's mind was a battlefield of conflicting loyalties and fears as she approached the facility where Lasara was staying. The weight of the world seemed to press down on her shoulders. She had decided to confront Lasara directly with the findings of Dr. Hirsch and Project Aegis. Her heart pounded with the knowledge that this conversation could pivot the nature of human-alien relations forever. Lasara greeted her warmly, her demeanor serene as ever. The contrast between her calm and the storm raging in Evelyn's heart was stark. "Evelyn, you seem troubled today," Lasara observed, her violet eyes reflecting genuine concern. Taking a deep breath, Evelyn began. "Lasara, the technologies you've shared have been transformative and hold promise for a brighter future. But there are concerns about the deeper implications of integrating our systems so closely with yours." She then detailed the discoveries Hirsch had made, including the potential for surveillance and control hidden within the alien tech. Lasara listened intently, her expression unchanging. After a moment of silence, she spoke. "It is true that our technologies are capable of more than we have disclosed. In the harmonium, we exist without secrets, without privacy as you understand it. We share thoughts as easily as you share words. This fosters a unity you have not yet experienced." Evelyn was taken aback by the admission. "But we value our independence, our privacy. To live without it, it changes what it means to be human." "There is much you would gain," Lasara continued, "but yes, something fundamental would change. We believed the trade to be in your favor." The conversation shifted as Evelyn questioned the ethical implications of such changes being decided by a few, rather than each individual. "Isn't true harmony achieved only when all voices are heard and respected?" she challenged. Lasara nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Perhaps we have underestimated the importance of this aspect of your culture. It is not our way, but I see its value to you." The revelation of these deeper implications sent shockwaves through global leadership when Evelyn shared the details of their conversation. Emergency meetings were convened, and debates raged about the future course of action. Meanwhile, public opinion was polarized, with large protests both for and against further integration with alien technology. Amidst this global turmoil, the emergency session of the United Nations was called. Lysara was invited to speak, and this time, the weight of her words was heavier than ever. She acknowledged the fears of the Earth's populace, proposing an alternative path forward. "We offer a choice now," Lysara declared. "We can provide technology that respects your boundaries, designed to be safe from any form of control or surveillance that you fear. It will be slower, less integrated, but it will be yours to control." This compromise offered a new olive branch, and slowly, negotiations began on how to implement this new form of technology transfer. Teams of Earth's best scientists, including Dr. Shaw and Dr. Hirsch, were assembled to work alongside Lysara's people, ensuring transparency and respect for human values. As these teams worked tirelessly, Dr. Shaw found herself at the forefront of not just a scientific exchange, but a cultural one. Each day brought new challenges and revelations, testing the limits of trust and cooperation. Yet, despite the difficulties, there was a burgeoning sense of hope. The world watched as humanity took cautious steps toward a future where they could benefit from the wonders of the cosmos without sacrificing what made them uniquely human. The path was fraught with challenges, but also filled with potential, as Earth began to carve out its place in the wider galaxy. As the collaborative efforts progressed, the global landscape began to transform subtly but significantly. The new technology, redesigned to align with Earth's values of privacy and independence, was cautiously rolled out. Its implementation was not just technological but also a test of trust between Earth and Lysara's people. Under the vigilant eyes of both Dr. Evelyn Shaw and Dr. Leonard Hirsch, pilot projects were initiated in various sectors: energy, medicine, and environmental restoration. The technologies proved to be revolutionary, surpassing expectations while adhering strictly to the limitations imposed to protect human autonomy. This success helped to quell much of the dissent and fear that had been simmering around the world. In parallel, cultural exchanges took place. Lysara facilitated visits between Earth and her home planet, allowing humans to experience the harmonium firsthand. These visits were eye-opening for those who participated. They were struck by the seamless integration of technology and society in Lysara's world, where individuality was not lost, but rather enhanced by collective consciousness. Back on Earth, during a globally broadcast summit held in Geneva, Lysara and world leaders unveiled the Harmony Accord, a formal agreement outlining the continued exchange of knowledge and technology under mutually agreed terms. The accord was a testament to the newfound understanding and respect between the two civilizations. Dr. Shaw, addressing the assembly, emphasized the importance of maintaining vigilance. "While we embrace these new possibilities, we must remain guardians of our values," she stated. "Let this partnership be a model not of assimilation, but of mutual respect and learning." As the accord was signed, celebrations erupted across the globe. Humanity was entering a new era, not with trepidation, but with optimism. Educational programs and public forums flourished, aimed at preparing societies for the integration of new technologies and the philosophical shifts they entailed. However, not all were convinced. A small but vocal group continued to advocate for caution, concerned about the irreversible steps being taken. They monitored the integration closely, committed to safeguarding Earth's sovereignty. This watchdog group, led by Dr. Hirsch, ensured that the balance of power remained equitable. Months into the implementation of the Harmony Accord, a major development occurred. An environmental recovery project using alien technology had successfully revitalized the Great Barrier Reef, which had been on the brink of ecological collapse. This victory was broadcast live, showing vivid images of coral spawning and marine life returning to the once dying reef. The project served as a powerful symbol of the positive impact the alien technology could have when coupled with human stewardship. Lysara, during a reflective moment shared with Dr. Shaw on a walk through the newly thriving reef, expressed her contentment. "Seeing your world heal like this, knowing it is done in a way that respects your essence, it brings me great joy," she confessed. Evelyn smiled, watching a school of colorful fish dart through the water. "And it shows that we can maintain who we are while still growing," still reaching out into the stars. The story of Earth's interaction with Lasara and her people concluded not with a dramatic upheaval, but with a quiet confidence. The future was undoubtedly complex, filled with unknowns, but for now, Earth stood united, a testament to the potential of interspecies cooperation. The planet was no longer isolated in the universe. It was a part of a larger community, ready to face the future with an open heart and a vigilant mind.